It's about to go down.
It's lovely pass, and there he turns cleverly. Can he find a finish? Oh, he can!
Skill by Joshua, and a return right hand. Good counter right. Bullen is hurt. Second right hand. That clipped him as well. Now he goes in for the kill.
Well, Ricciardo is inching into the lead, and Ricciardo will win the Italian Grand Prix!
Iguodala running the floor.
Still leading the way with Canada. In there too with the Netherlands.
And Musa makes it 4 goals in 2 World Cup matches.
The Monaco Grand Prix! Ricciardo triumphant in Monza.
Through Bowden Barrett and an early touch and an excellent.
Sports Orbit. We make the world go round.
Hello and welcome to another wonderful episode of Sports Orbit coming to you from the Leadership Podcast Studio. My name is Afa Acho and I have 2 gentlemen with me in the studio because Salifu Usman makes a return once again. Yeah, and we also have a special guest in the studio with us today in Mr. Chinedum Ohanusi, former Premier Nigerian Professional League referee, former General Secretary, FCT Football Referees Council, and we'll be discussing a whole lot of issues, particularly the poor officiating we've so far witnessed in the ongoing AFCON. We still have plenty of other stories with you, as we all are aware. The final 8 of the AFCON is now well known. Egypt finally made it through the final 8 yesterday, and of course, other teams. We also have stories about AFCON, and of course, the Ministry of Sports. The NFF have also held a meeting to carry out a holistic review of what transpired with Super Eagles at the ongoing AFCON in Cameroon. First, we'll begin with the officiating at the African Cup of Nations. Mr. Chinedu, I'm sure you've been following the AFCON, as you know it's been ongoing. One major issue where a lot of fans have complained, not just in Nigeria, but across Africa, even if you go through social media platforms, a lot of fans have been outrageous, filled with outrage over the state of officiating at the AFCON. We can imagine that just in the round of 16 alone, I think about 7 red cards were dished out. Are we saying African referees are not competent enough? Is VAR a problem? How do you really see this thing? Give us an assessment of what you think.
Anyway, for a start, let me say football started without a referee. It was when the players were unable to resolve issues that they needed to consult somebody maybe at the sideline and to arbitrate. Then thereafter, the referee, they now reason that if that referee, why not let us bring him in to the middle? And at a point, they now said, okay, let us also assist him with some people that will watch over the lines. Yeah. So that's the evolution of refereeing primarily. Yeah. And in Nigeria or elsewhere in the world, we used to know of match commissioners. Yeah. So the referee had enormous powers. Remember, one of our presidents, Olusegun Obasanjo, named the referee as one of those, and pastors as one of those he revered most and feared most. But in this matter, let me quickly say that there are 3 aspects of refereeing. First, you must have the knowledge of the laws of the game. You must be able to interpret them, understand them, then interpret them. So those are the 3 layers for the referee. He's a judge, and often without interference, he has to dish out decisions immediately. Then came VAR, video assistant referee, the technology that we believe is meant to help referees to do much more better. And like I did say, in the past, we used to have match commissioners. Match commissioners assess referees. But it came to a situation whereby we understand that the match commissioner is not sufficiently, equipped to assess a referee. For instance, no man can say he knows exactly what a woman feels in the labor room. No matter, we all know that it's painful. We all know that there are some cries here and there, but nobody can tell you the exact nature of pain because you are not a woman. Now, with FIFA and IFAB, International Football Association Board, are now agreed, and there came this evolution of specialty. A referee must specialize at a certain level, an assistant referee must specialize at a particular level. There were still gaps, so they brought in the referee inspector. So the match commissioner takes charge of security and other aspects of the game, while the referee inspector takes charge of assessing the referee, and because as somebody will say, now who no man, now they kill them go, you cannot catch a thief unless you pretend to be one or you are one yourself. Okay, now that is where we are. You asked so many questions, so I had to lay the preamble for what a referee is. Now coming to the AFCON in Cameroon, I am yet to see one decision that we should put our hands in our head and shout "Blue Mother." I've not seen any of such decisions. So I followed the matches closely, and I know, like Western of say at the time, we have 100 million Nigerians, and everybody believe out of that he's also a coach. Out of every 1 million, we have one coach, national team coach. So many of us pretend or just decide to think that the referee's job is not important, that we too can do it. What is there? What is it? No matter how I read my Bible, no matter how the Bible school that I must have attended, I can never be the same as a man that has been ordained as a man, a preacher in the church. Because there are differences between the letters of the word and the spirit of the word. For the referee, it goes beyond that. Now, we call that law 18. There are, the laws of football, there are 7. We call that the unwritten law. That is the common sense, where the referee has to also be a judge of both the action and intention. And this is where we are. Before every competition, referees are given specific instructions. It could be we are not going to tolerate kicks from behind. It could be we're not going to tolerate swinging of the elbow. It could be we're not going to tolerate spitting on the pitch. It could be a combination of 2 or 3 issues. And if you observe, CAF has not come out to say anything about officiating in this competition. The local organizing committee has not come to say, the referees have performed below expectation. But ordinarily, those of us that are far are the people are far from Cameroon and probably not in the game, connected with the game directly, that have felt aggrieved. I want to say again that I have seen most of the decisions we have pointed at and said, this card is undeserving, or that card is undeserving. The Iwobi card, the collision with Mane and the goalkeeper Cape Verdean goalkeeper being sent out, all those issues. I believe the referees were spot on with their decisions.
Thank you, Mr. Ohanusi. Football, the game of football cannot be played without being tackled. There's going to be a tackle in the game of football. And from your own experience as an ex-referee who has seen the game and who also feel, just like you analyze and try to background this, you also feel how the referee feel well on the pitch, because they have less than a second to take a decision, just like that. But if you see that all you have seen so far, the referee are in order. So are we now saying that African referees are indisciplined?
No. The referees are in order. The African referees, to me, are even doing more, because the technology.
So, have you seen the African players are indisciplined?
No, not so. The competition has not even gone that. Remember, there was a World Cup final that we had to see so many yellow cards, so many red cards. Graham Paul, one of the best in England, even issued 3 yellow cards to one player, and that player was still on the pitch. So I want to say that referees are permitted to make some level of error. A lot of players that have the nets wide open and they decide to sky the ball. I get me now. So if we think we want people to officiate games without making errors, then we have to bring perfect human beings. None of us here is infallible. And in that case, what I see is simple. Get the referee, train him, equip him, prepare him, let him go out there and do his job. The referees chosen by CAF are like even a new generation of elite referees. So there may be errors, there may be mistakes. But I don't see anyone that we should put our hands in our head and shout about. There may be none of them, maybe in those yellow card or red card, some of them could be 50-50 issues, like the Iwobi issue. He actually got the ball, but he was just coming into the game. There was nothing like maybe tiredness, fatigue. So it is clear that he could control things better than even those playing. But the stamp on the ankle means that ankle could go, and the ankle is a very delicate part of a football player's body. So I want to believe that the VAR calling the referee to come and have a second look was right, and the referee decided to cancel the yellow card and issue the red card. Perhaps if there is anything at all in this competition that we may say, didn't go right, was the referee that was not 100% and decided to stop the match before time. That is not in the books at all, because FIFA has also made it that the fourth official, that's the reserve referee, is also a competent referee. And if you can no longer continue for health reasons, you should signal there will be a substitution, and the fourth official will go in and complete the game. But I understand that referee also is one that has issues, even officiating at the Zambian league, and he was sent back immediately. I understand he suffered sunstroke. I don't know exactly what sunstroke means, because in this part of Nigeria, we don't have issues like that. But players also in Cameroon were complaining that they are being roasted in the scorchy weather, especially some of the players from North Africa and those that are not used to the African this thing. So far, if these referees have made errors, they could be related to VAR errors. And you see most of them like that. Each time they go to the VAR and come back. And now the VAR that we are using, remember, even in England, the Premier League that all of us watch, the use of VAR in England is not as mature as when you watch in La Liga or Serie A, or even in Germany. Because they introduced it late. They started with the goal line conservatively. They started with the goal line technologies, the Hawkeye, then the watches that beeps, then eventually that was why FIFA excused English referees from the last World Cup in Russia. Now they've gone a little bit further, but even clubs are complaining about VAR, especially the smaller clubs. And I want to say that we have seen clear issues that have not been handled even at that top level. African football is still coming of age. Perhaps even if CAF is using it, I don't know the technology they are using, but IFAB, International Football Association Board, is the one that prescribes the technology that must be used for this. I don't know for how many of this technology we have in our various stadiums in Nigeria. So we have to get used to it as a country, as a continent, and as a people before we say yes. For now, it has been introduced. We have had views. It's for CAF to sit down. People like Amuneka there in Cameroon, working as CAF technical study group members. Those in charge of refereeing will bring their reports. At the end of this tournament, I believe they are going to holistically look into these issues prefer solutions to where they find problem and we forge ahead. But I don't see anything that is out of this competition and will say, oh, they were pushed out because of that.
Mr. Hanson, just like you were saying, if you look at this very AFCON, this is the first time we are using VAR. In all our previous AFCON, there has never been mention of VAR. Yes. The first time. And that is why people are very worried. Because if you compare the rate of red card in this particular match, at the last AFCON in Tunisia, recorded only 4 red cards. Recorded only 4 red cards in the entire duration of the tournament. And if you look at the last 4 of the Africa Cup of Nations, the Africa Cup of Nations, the entire record of tournament red card is 13. This particular one, after 2 rounds of matches, group stage and the round of season, and the second round, we have recorded 30 red cards, and the match we still have about 8 matches to go.
That's why I said before every competition, referees are under instruction. So sometimes when the organizers find out that the referees are even overdoing it, they call them again and say, okay, please, we can step it down a little bit. You understand now? So these referees, the instruction they are given, we don't know all here, but I understand that tackles on, from behind or anywhere, the ankle must be protected, swings of the elbow must be protected. They were told. So if we are interested in finding out the instructions, all we need to do is probably go to CAF website and find out what specific instruction. I know they are giving some instruction. Sometimes, like in this era of coronavirus, I told them, when players spit, make sure instead of a yellow card, give a red card. You understand? So these are the dynamics of the game. Football has to also change with time, and probably these are the changes. The red card or no red card, like Eto'o did say, the rule about COVID was made before everything even came to Cameroon. So all of us were aware of it. The rules about these red cards, all the FAs were aware of it. It is now left to the individual FAs to pass the message to their players.
Okay. All right. Thank you for giving us an in-depth analysis of the situation concerning refereeing at CAF. And then we'll go for a short break, and when we come back, we'll have plenty of stories to still give you. Don't go nowhere. We'll be right back.
Sports Orbit. We make the world go round.
All right, welcome back from that short break. Back to before when Mr. Ohanusi was still talking about refereeing. While we're speaking of air, now we want to find out. You see, we're having the AFCON currently, and it's very strange. A lot of Nigerians actually complained about it. There is no Nigerian referee participating in this AFCON. What could be the problem? Is it that our referees are not good enough, are not competent enough? What do you think is actually the problem?
Well, in officiating at international football level, you have to pass through specific classes. When you become a FIFA referee, first of all, then you are exposed to lesser games. They are given country appointments. They throw this to Nigeria. So the people here in Nigeria can decide to give whoever they want to give to the match. Okay. But when the competition like CAF Champions League, CAF Confederations Cup, come to the business end, CAF knows their elite referees. They will now say Salihu and Action and maybe one more person. Or they will also say Salihu and 2 other persons. They send it to Nigeria. What happens at the NFF? We don't know. But let me tell you something. How much investment has the NFF put in to train referees? I have been in a crusade asking the NFF to pay referees for the matches they officiated in Nigeria Premier League 2019 and 2020. Last season, they paid for the week 1 to week 6 and stopped paying. So what is the credibility in our league? Why will you ask me as a referee to go and officiate a match and I will spend like on flight about 25,000 naira or 30,000 naira, go to come back and accommodate myself, do everything, and you're not giving me. So you're exposing me to probably take gratification from the team that can offer it and mess up the match. That's the system we run in Nigeria. Now, when you bring all these problems together, it affects our Nigerian referees. In countries that get it right, let me say Ghana, all they do is, from the beginning, they focus on, they shortlist 1, 2, 3 referees, focus on them. Once country matches are given, they give it to them. Once individual matches come, they will still come to them. But in Nigeria, they want everything to be shared, quota system. Let one Igbo man take one, let Hausa man take, let Yoruba man take, let Gwari man take. It does not work that way. So if we know that we have our best referees, we must, those matches must go to them. Let the other ones grumble. But when they start doing badly, we demote them, we promote those ones that are better or doing better. That's the system. I and Linus Sumba, who brought most of us up, who mentored most of us up, I've been the referee advisor over time. I don't know what he advises the NFF. I don't know what he advises the NRA. I left like 2 or 3 years before I was 45, so that to create room for others, because I found out that there was no way I was going to be a FIFA referee at that time, and I would make headway. You need about 5 years of 3 years of being a FIFA referee to get one under-17 tournament. From the under-17, they will try out the under-21. From the under-21, they start you with CAF Champions League, Confederation Cup, Champions League, like semi-finals. Then you become more of a Gazama. You become, your name starts ringing bell on the continent. Then they may now say, okay, he's going to a FIFA under-17, a FIFA under-20, and anytime from then, maybe an Olympics, then suddenly you are in the World Cup. So it will take you at least 8 to 10 years to be on the elite list of referees to go to the. But when you want to enter referees here, somebody who is already 40 years will tell you it's 28 years. And you need to do some kind of very difficult physical fitness exercises to every year to reconfirm your fitness. So when you cannot do that, you drop. So the issue is that some of them will say, that's my godfather. He has promised me next year they'll put me on the badge. Why are you putting somebody that will fizzle out before 12 years? Exactly. So if we have people that are that educated, knowledgeable, ability to control the out of the field and on the field refereeing life, we give them the push. ADB was pushed. He was almost there for the World Cup, but what happened, I didn't know. Though he said, I think he's a little bit older than the age he declared. So the basic thing is that we must start having our referees from the secondary school. They must be 18 or below. When we get them, let them start officiating those under 12, under 13 matches, making their experiences to go to the World Cup. NFF does not spend a dime training referees. I know when Gabriel Sutesfaye, the Ethiopian that handled now Eritrea, then it was Ethiopia before they separated, that handled the AFCON final between Nigeria and Algeria. They've been here for different MA courses. MA means Member Association of either FIFA or CAF.
Well, so time is not our friend, but finally, how is the referee good, or how do you become?
How do you? Yes, you
must you play?
No, you must not. You must not. I didn't play highest football, but the interest was there. So in fact, when I wanted to go and register, I was told I was too young. I left secondary school. My mind was just because while in school, one Mr. Dikfa, our game master, wanted me. So I just found my way, got the form, pass the screening or interview, they'll do some tests for you, both the eye, whether you can recognize colors properly, and etc. Then they start grooming you as a referee in training. After that, you write the examination to grade 3, to grade 2, to grade 1 within some years. Sometimes I think it's very unnecessary. They will give you 3 years to stay on one grade, 4 years to stay on another grade. I think they can reduce those so that we have the referees going to FIFA when they are young. I met a referee from Burkina Faso in the match. Amirangwe died in Lagos, and he told me he was 29 years. And I look at him and say, this guy is not 29. Perhaps he's younger. So that gives him the advantage of longevity.
All right. Thank you so much for opening our eyes to so many things about refereeing that even me as a sports reporter was not aware of. But thank you for your enlightenment. I'm sure many of our viewers out there have learned a thing or two about refereeing generally. All right, with the little time we'll go on to other story where the Ministry and NFF is holding a crucial meeting to review the performance of the Super Eagles at the AFCON. Usually, like it's usually done in this kind of competition, when your team goes out, comes back, you usually do a review, sort of like a postmortem, to find out where you went wrong and what can be done to improve on the team so that in this kind of outing next time, they can do better. Salifu, quickly. What do you make of this?
Well, I wish it's not one of the roundtable meetings that will never give any complete result. Because I'm here to understand what are they going to discuss. Is the minister a technical man or the march officer have just something that is called or so whatever they're going to discuss, we hope that they'll come up with a concrete result and give us result. But I understand that one of the issues they're going to discuss is also to look at either Baba to be or not to be. And from the grapevine, from what you are hearing, that they have also tried to make up their mind that Baba will take us to the next round of the playoff of the World Cup qualifiers. So let's see how it's going to be. But I think whatever they are going to do now, they should be able to look into and look into their eyes and tell them say the truth to know the obvious where we are, because as it is now, it's very dicey. And because I also read that the Ghanaians, if you're looking at the Ghanaians based on their performance at the AFCON, and you don't want to judge them by that, that means you are doing yourself a great risk.
Still on the AFCON, yesterday we saw a couple of matches go down. Egypt played Cote d'Ivoire, and Egypt won that one on penalties. And it was also Burkina Faso versus Mali versus Equatorial Guinea yesterday, which Mali also. Who am I in that one? Okay, Mali lost actually on penalties. I didn't follow that score. Yeah, 6-5 actually. And Egypt are all through to last 8. Initially, when it started, after Egypt fell to Nigeria, it seemed like Egypt were not going to progress any further. But here they are in the quarterfinal.
Yeah, I did tell anybody that cared to listen that we should know that the AFCON does not start until the round of 16.
Absolutely.
When the boys go home, the men will stay to take care of business. But one thing that deceived Nigeria was the group we were placed in. And when we beat Egypt, that was yet trying to string passes together, we thought we had achieved everything. We played Sudan and Equatorial and Guinea-Bissau, and those are no football nation that we should be proud to have, beaten. The result against Egypt was wonderful. I was myself very fascinated by that. Now, going forward, if we had Mali yesterday going through, it means Mali, Gambia, and Tunisia from one group would have all qualified to the quarterfinals. So that tells you how that group was. Tunisia lost 2 games, but are in the quarterfinals. Nigeria didn't lose any group game, but we are in Nigeria. So the Ministry of Sports and NFF should save Nigeria of another agony. They cannot review themselves because they bungled this AFCON
in the first place.
Yeah. You cannot, even if though I don't support giving a Guavon this job, I know that the job was given to him too late. When you want to send, when a boy is sent out by his father to go and steal, he does not go through the window. He used the leg to open the door. So we should give a Guavon the tools to work at the right time. Now, is it going to be a Guavon or not? I believe you, the game against Ghana, my prediction, as soon as those draws were made, is that Nigeria will join the 5 countries qualifying, the 4 other countries qualifying. But we may just win by a shootout or away goal. It will be so close. Everything about our rivalry with Ghana will come into play.
Definitely.
And going to, when you watch again and you see the performance of Guavon at this AFCON, he played all our cards against Egypt, repeated them in the other 2 games, so we were predictable, and that was why we came out, the losing side against Tunisia. They just clipped our wings, and our reaction was also late. He realized that we could go through the middle, but now my advice to the NFF is that ask some other people to give you opinion about yourself. Pinnick has been in power as NFF president for close to 8 years now. No trophy.
He has less than 6 months to go.
No trophy. And he's still asking that they should give him opportunity to take Nigeria to the World Cup. After the World Cup, we will hold the elections. And I said, if the Nigerian government allows that, then I will know that, yes, they have actually killed football in Nigeria.
Absolutely.
Because as of today, if you go to the social media, it is either an IPOB Super Eagles or Biafran Super Eagles or Arewa Super Eagles, a quota system Super Eagles. Now, that which unites us have started suffering because of people that want to disunite Nigeria. It's now time for the government, the Ministry of Information, the Ministry of Sports, the Ministry of Youth, and they must come out to defend this one thing that unites Nigeria. Football should never, ever suffer, because that's the only thing holding us together. That's the only arena where we speak with one voice.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chinedum Ohanusi, for being with us on this episode of Sports Orbit. Once again, Salifu, thank you for being in the studio. Until we come your way tomorrow again with another exciting episode of Sports Orbit, I remain your host, Afa Achua, and bye-bye from here.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have the last word.